Tell All, a podcast by Shy Soul. She's bringing you author interviews, book discussions, and more. Stay tuned.
Tell 'em Dice sent you.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Authors Tell All. You are live with your host, Shy Soul, author and reader. I have here tonight Marcus Bouldin, aka Ali Shakur, author of many titles. This is about to get spicy. Finally, I get to say my tagline for my show because this author is going to bring everything you guys want to know. He's going to tell it all. Hi, how are you doing?
I am good. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
Shake off Yes, shake off any nerves you got, because this is about to be one hell of a show.
Nah, I ain't got no nerves. I'm all good.
Okay. First of all, I just want to say I'm glad for you to be on my show. This finna be a breeze. We finna get through this and have some nice topics to talk about tonight. Now, my first thing I want to, we just gonna talk about your books first, and then we'll get into all the good book tea.
Alright, sounds good.
Okay, so how many titles have you published so far?
Well, actually, I only have one.
Okay.
And that's Loyalty.
That cover is bomb, by the way. Mm-hmm.
I published that last year, so I'm on the second year. Part 2 of Loyalty is expected to drop in June, and then I got 3 more books that's going to follow up right after that.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be a hell of a series, because when I seen the cover, I was like, it's not too much going on. It just states basically the title, and I like that. Tell us a little bit about the book. You don't have to give too much away, nothing like that. Just want to brief up the book.
All right, so Loyalty is about 2 high school kids. The main character named Ezekiel Miller. He's going to Howard on a scholarship. He has a best friend named Gabriel. We call him G in the story.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, with Zeke going to Howard, G doesn't have, I guess, a path to the end goal. He just kind of going along with the motions.
Mm-hmm.
So he's riding the coattail of Zeke for the most part. So the plan is G comes to Zeke and they go to Washington, D.C. That's where Howard University is at. And everything is going according to plan for the most part. And then a neighborhood friend of theirs, asked the 2 guys to do a favor, which Zeke, he's more level-headed, let's think things through, where G is more reckless, nonchalant, like, man, let's get this money, let's have fun, we're young, whatever. So they agreed to do the favor, and that favor puts them in the midst of this Puerto Rican drug lord named Hugo.
Mm-hmm.
And Hugo offers Zeke and G a job. It's real simple. You just take these book bags, deliver them around town. Typical drug stuff, but on a smaller scale. And if they agree to do it, Hugo promised them the world and everything in it. You want money, you want cars, you want women, you want power, respect, whatever you want. This world is yours.
Mm-hmm.
And all he asks in return is loyalty. That's all he wants. So it's cool. You got 2 17-year-old kids, and you introduce them into money. You show them the women, and all these fancy things. It's real easy to manipulate 2 young kids.
Mm-hmm.
So they with it. Okay, cool. So as the story progressed, shit start to happen, and Zeke realized, like, yo, what the hell did I get myself into? Like, this is not what I'm trying to do. G, on the other hand, it's a motive behind why he's following behind Hugo. Whatever Hugo says, he's with it. No question asked.
Mm-hmm.
But Zeke, on the other hand, is like, nah, I ain't with this. I'm through with it. So comes a time in the story where Zeke has to decide.
Mm-hmm.
He has to show Hugo if he's willing to pledge his loyalty or not. And if he doesn't, then, of course, you're dealing with the drug lord. Things ain't going to end pretty for you.
Exactly.
So Zeke has to decide if he wants to pledge his loyalty or risk losing his life, and everything he worked for crumbles in front of his face, and nothing he can do about it. So basically, that's the story. It sets the stage for a lot more to happen. Like part 2 of Loyalty, like I said, is going to drop in June, and that continues the story. So the choices that Zeke and G makes in part 1 carries over in part 2, carries over in part 3, and however many other episodes they're going to be with it. But it's definitely going to be a part 2 and a part 3.
Yes, I can totally see this. I now see why this story is a 5-star. It's so much drama and action and just a whole package that a book needs.
Yeah, it has. I mean, even in the story, there's a little bit of love interest. You know, Zeke falls in love with this girl named Alexis. And it gets to the point to where shit ain't right with her either. You know, and he's so in love with her that he don't know if she playing games or what the hell is going on. He's just like, man, I want this girl, but we went from kicking it every day to me barely talking to her to I don't even know what the hell's going on with it no more. So you get a little bit of love in there. You get a little bit of redemption. You'll definitely see some loyalty in there. People loyalties are going to be tested. And the ending is what makes the story. Mm-hmm. Everything that happens from point A all the way to the end, you see everything. You see like, shit, that's dope. So that's loyalty in a nutshell.
That's great. That's what I was going to say first. But I really, really love a urban story that has that unexpected ending and that ending that you're just so willing to get to see what's going to happen. Then you drop the bomb on all your readers. Like, yeah, you don't have to wait. I love that.
Well, because before I even released it to the public, because, you know, it was like out and about, but it was out and about around like people I know. And, you know, they would start reading it and they like, man, fuck this. I need to do what happened to the end. So they had to skip half of the story just to read to the end. And they'd be like, oh, that's dope. Now I got to go back and reread it because I need to know how everything led up to this. You know, so it's one of those type of stories where it's good to the point to where you want to hurry up and get to the end. So you read the ending, but then you got to go back and finish it so everything makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I really, really like. I like when an author has a book that you want to reread over and over again just to make sure, you know, you picked up all the right pieces and to see, like, did I miss anything? Like, just another reason just to read the book over and over again. It's a book of a lifetime. Now,
so when part 2 come out, if you haven't read part 1, you're not going to understand part 2 at all because it's just a continuation. So you have to read part 1 to understand part 2, and you get to see the emotions of some of the characters from part 1 because it's the same characters in part 1 for the most part. I mean, of course, people die and blah blah blah, but for the most part, the same characters are in part 2. So rather it's in physical form or whatever type of form they're in part 2.
I love it. That is applaud. That's a great book. And it's so.
If you want me to bullshit, I can make up something. But as far as the truth, I never wanted to be an author. It just happened. Mm-hmm. I was just it was this many years ago. I was listening to some, I don't know if it was on TV or the radio or what it was, but it was this guy, he was talking like an inspirational message or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. And, you know how you're talking to someone, then you kind of tune out and your mind just take you somewhere else, then you tune back in, you're like, oh shit. So it was one of those moments to where I tuned out doing other shit, and then when I tuned back in, this message that I heard was life has a funny way of evolving. Mm-hmm. So that little phrase stuck with me, and it was like like an earworm. Like when you hear a song is stuck in your head and you just can't get that song out, no matter what you do, you play it over and over again, it's still stuck in your head. Mm-hmm. So that little phrase, life has a funny way of evolving, stuck in my head for a very long time. And I couldn't shake it. So one day I just sat down in front of my laptop and I wrote it out. Like life has a funny way of evolving. And I just sat there and stared at it like, what do this mean? So after days and maybe weeks of me just staring at this little phrase, I just start, life has a funny way of evolving, then I just start typing after that. And I came up with a story, it was called Crossroads, when it comes to respect. And that's when I really, really started to write. And I wrote that in the play format, and I wrote it in the book format. But at the time, you know, I was more worried about other stuff, and I was like, man, writing is stupid. Mm-hmm. Nobody got no rights. Everybody wants to be a rapper. Everybody wants to do this and that. No one talks about being a rapper, so I thought it was stupid. So I was like, after I wrote it, I kind of just threw it in the garbage, deleted it, and that was it. Then fast forward, maybe 2 years ago, I was on a little camping trip with my guys. Mm-hmm. And that whole crossroads, life has a funny way of evolving, always stuck with me, never went away. So I'm on this camping trip. We in the middle of nowhere, no telephone service, no nothing. We had barely enough Wi-Fi just to be in tune with what was going on in the world. Without the Wi-Fi, we was just, anything could happen to us, but whatever. So I took my laptop, and I'm like, man, you know what? I finna write again. And then I wrote another two. And I wrote, like, the first chapter, and the people I was with, it was my first time actually letting someone read what I wrote. I let them read it, and they was like, man, that's dope. You should finish it. Mm-hmm. So I went ahead and finished it. And this is what we got. Episode 1. So I never wanted to be a writer. It just kind of just happened.
That's interesting. That's the first on this show. That's the first that I've ever heard an author say, I never wanted to be a writer. You know, it just came to me, basically.
Yeah, it just, and when I write, everything I write has truth to it. It's real because it may not be my truth, but it's someone else's. It's someone else that I came across in life. Someone that I talked with, someone I interacted with, you know. So there's truth to everything I've wrote. I mean, of course, I exaggerate some to make it more interesting. But for the most part, the idea always comes from real life situations. And I just exaggerate a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I like. Very, very different. Now, okay, we're getting there where this is about to get intense, people. This is about to get very interesting. Now, I know it's some things you really, 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 really want to talk about on the show. So we can get to that. I'm very excited. I'm sorry. I'm just very excited to see what's about to go down right now on this show. Now, my question is, what is your opinion on plagiarism?
I think it's bullshit. Mm-hmm. You know, I think people that plagiarize are failures, basically. You failed to come up with your own idea. You failed to come up with your own storyline. You're a failure. That's how I feel about it. And if you can't come up with your own storyline, what the hell are you writing for? Why are you even in this type of industry? Go find something else to do. Because you're not a fucking writer if you're stealing people's shit. That's how I look at it. Point blank period. Find something else to do.
That is very, very true. Because I have been a victim of plagiarism. I can say 3 times it has happened.
Well, I know someone, they didn't steal like any like anything from as far as dialogue or any scenes from Loyalty, but there's a unique way that I write that I have seen no authors write like that. And she was on my friend list. And when I first started, I would put out like bits and pieces of Loyalty where you can read it and see, oh, okay, this is dope. And I don't give a fuck. She signed to KC Mills. I don't care, whatever. So I'm scrolling on Facebook one day, and I see, like, hold on, she ain't never did this before. Ain't nobody did this before. And she had like stole my unique way of writing, and you're right.
Yep.
So when I seen that, I slid in her inbox and called her a bald-headed wench. Like, you don't do shit like that. That's not cool. You never interacted with me. You never talked to me. But you apparently see what I'm doing because you're taking my shit. So I called her bald-headed wench. We had some unfriendly dialogue to her. One thing led to another, and I ended up getting blocked. Mm-hmm. But I don't care. I mean, you stole my shit. And you can go back and look at any book they ever put out. You're not going to see that. And I don't know if she put it in her book, but she had it on her Facebook post. So I don't know, but still, that was my shit, and she took it and used it against me. So that's how I feel about plagiarism.
Yep, I know exactly how you feel. When my story first time it happened to me. I did exactly what you did. I didn't put it on Facebook or anything. I had put it on an app which I was writing on. And the girl was actually like a reader, a fan of mine, right? She was trying to write or whatever you want to call it. And she was a fan of my stories on the app and my stories that I actually published. So the story that she, stole was a story that I had in the works of getting it published, and it was to be published very soon. I just wasn't finished with editing or anything like that. So, she told me, this is what really made me catch on. She told me, oh yeah, I read the story. The story is so good. When are you going to do part 2 or part 3 and all this little extra stuff? So to find out, she gets signed to a publisher, and she uses that very story that she was saying, oh, it's so good, when are you going to do a part 2, part 3? Use that exact story, got it published by sending my own storyline, my own creation to a publisher, and got signed off of it. The moment I seen the book go live, something in me just told me you need to see about this, because the title and the cover kind of jumped at me that kind of looks a little bit, it sounds like a little bit like Shy Soul style. So I was just on the fence about it. I didn't say anything yet until I read it. The first chapter, the first page, the first word, I said, oh no, this is all me right here. All that that quick was all my story.
Did you cuss her out? Did you pull up on her? Anything?
Oh, I did it the professional way. I went straight to the publisher because I knew her publisher. I've actually did a lot of work for her publisher. So I went directly to the source and I said, you need to check out that book that your new author just got released, because that is my work. I'll send you the link to my story. I'll send you everything. It's right here. And the proof is, and I checked her too. I went to whatever social media site I had messaged her on. I said, you think you slick for trying to befriend me, trying to get little tips out of me and stuff, but to steal my work that I worked so hard on, knowing that me, myself, I am the romantic urban author. I'm not a street lit author. So for me to really put my heart and soul in a piece of work right? And then to have somebody steal that, I said, oh no. No. Went straight to that publisher, told her, sent her the link. I said, I have proof. Here's your proof. She read it and said, oh, I cannot believe this. I don't have authors like this. She had just got signed for like...
What's her name? Drop her name.
The girl's name? Honestly...
I don't want to get nothing started. You don't have to.
Honestly, that was in the past, and I'm a very, very good-hearted person. I kill people with kindness. Works every time for me. She's not with that publisher anymore. That book is not out anymore. I don't even know if she's even signed to anyone. How can you get? You should get blackballed out of that. How in the writing community? How can you go to publish another story if you just plagiarize? If I was a publisher, I'd be like, oh no, I'm gonna contact any other publisher. Friend of mine, be like, no, this girl, I'm sorry. If she did it with my company and she did it against another author, she might do it to another one. Plain and simple.
No doubt. She's probably one of those type of people that asks authors to gift them books, and then when the authors do so, they go and get a refund. She's probably one of those type of people. Has that ever happened to you?
No, I've heard of that, but that's never.
Yeah, well, that happens to me a couple times. But, I don't trip on that. It's like, whatever. If you needed $1.99 that bad, I could have just cash apped you $2. I mean, it's a big fucking deal.
I'm actually glad you brought that up, because I was actually going to bring that up in my upcoming podcast show. I have been seeing that for the past couple of months. I seen it a couple of weeks ago. Authors saying that, they gifted a book, and then how can you return a gifted book? I have still not, I don't even know how you can do that. I'm gonna have to figure that out.
Just hit the refund button.
Well, I didn't know you could do that with a gifted book. That, you just got gifted a book that I paid for, and for a so-called reader. I don't even call you a reader at that point. You're just trying to get back money for what? You refunded, like you said, back a 99-cent book.
Right. But if you do it, a couple times to a couple authors, I guess you can get $10. You can, buy a McDonald's meal or whatever the hell, buy your drugs or whatever it is that you needed the money for. I mean, can't pay no bills for fucking $2. So
exactly, that's the people who say they support you, but they don't.
But that's something that authors have to be wary of, because we're so hungry to get reviews up on Amazon that we're just gifting books in hope that the person we gift the book to, they'll leave a good review. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's just the nature of the business,
Mm-hmm.
We live off reviews.
Yep.
That's how we sell books, reviews.
Yep.
So that's just, something we probably going to always have to deal with, unless Amazon changed their format. I know they changed their review format, but I don't know about the refund format.
Yeah, they need to look into that as well. Or what about the, I've heard about this too, what about tagging yourself in other authors' releases or your own release? You can tag, like, say if you dropped your next book, say next week, and you want to put tags in for people for it could pop up in their feed. So you tag my name in your release. So when an author or a reader or anybody else goes on Amazon and searches up your name or even mine, your book is going to pop up with mine. So when you search up Shy Soul, your book is in my feed of, you get what I'm saying? My feed of where to get this book at. And when I seen that, I said, you can't be serious. Because I was...
Yeah.
When
I did that before. I did that. I'm guilty of that. But I did that when I first started out, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I was just doing shit, trying to figure this out. But, I don't do that shit no more, because that's pretty whack.
Yeah, because I searched up my own name because I just wanted to see my name pop up on Amazon when I first got published, and I was like, how is this author name book popping up with Shy Soul? So I was like, okay, that's
Are
weird.
you still there? I can't hear you.
I said I searched up my own name on Amazon, and when I seen another author's name pop up, I said, people can do that? Right? That's how I felt. I was like, people can actually do that? Really? With have their book in your feed when they search up your name? Yeah. It's a lot of things that Amazon needs to fix. Honestly, I wish somebody can, come up with something better than Amazon, but I don't think that's going to happen for a long time.
Nah, I doubt it. Unless you just start, using other formats to sell your book outside of Amazon, which there is. You got Lulu.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you heard of that.
I have.
But you got that. It's not as popular as Amazon. People trust Amazon because Amazon is a marketplace. You can get everything you want from Amazon, and it's so your security when you're using your debit or credit card should be top notch.
Mm-hmm.
When I started off, I didn't use Amazon. I used Lulu, and people was real like, I don't know if I want to use that because I don't know much about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I started using Amazon. It's like, okay, well, everybody's using Amazon anyway, so I might as well jump on the bandwagon and use Amazon. But yeah, there's other formats. You just have to search. Like Lulu, Lulu. I that's how I get my paperbacks. Straight from Lulu.
Mm-hmm.
I don't order my paperbacks from Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
But Lulu is a real good platform for authors to use, even if they're using it just to get their paperback printed. Because it doesn't cost much, to get your paperback printed, and then they always giving you discount deals on getting your book printed. So that's a good format.
Yeah.
If you want to use something other than Amazon.
Yeah, it really is. Now my question is, what is your realist opinion on the urban writing industry? I haven't asked this question to an author in quite a while, and I really want to bring this back up because it's a good and bad side to this industry.
Well, I for one, I noticed that it's filled with women. There's not a lot of guys out there in the urban world. I don't know why, but it's every author out there for the most part are women. You have probably a handful of guys that's out there that's really out there that people know and people follow, but for the most part it's women. But I think it's a tough market. It's tough. It's in order to be really not successful, but to reach a certain plateau, you got to put in a lot of work. And if you're not willing to put in a lot of work, because it's small, but it's big. You know what I mean? It's like you only have a handful of well-known publishing companies, but you have a ton of authors. So you want to make friends with the right authors. You want to kind of network with the right publishers. But overall, I haven't had any real bad experiences besides when I first started out. But I think it's I honestly think like this whole book thing is no different than the music industry, from the publishers all the way down to the authors. It's a mirror of the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shady business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but it's cool, though. I mean, I'm having fun. I like it, It gives me something to do. It's cool.
Yeah. So, what is because I know you have a publishing company. What is your view on certain publishing companies? Because, that's a piece of work. And I'm being honest here because I've been through it with a few publishing companies. So, just here to be honest.
Most publishing companies, they're full of shit. I'm going to use you as an example. So, you love your publisher. I love my publisher, whatever the case may be. For every person that loves their publisher, there's two people that says, fuck your publisher. You know, because publishing, for the most part, is it's a money train. And the authors are the engine that keeps it going. So, basically, you know, an author or a publisher that asks an author, like, yo, can you put out a book every 30 days? Basically, they don't care about the quality of the work. They just care about the money. And I think that's where a lot of times authors get pretty upset with the publishing company because they want work. It becomes a sweatshop, you know? And I think, every author that writes should know about Triple Crown publications. Are you familiar with Triple Crown?
Yes.
I don't know if that's a yes or no. I can't hear you.
Yes.
Okay. So you know how Triple Crown ended. People want to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those artists that was under Triple Crown have started their own publications company. And they're great writers. But Triple Crown is, and I don't care who gets mad when I say this, it's probably the death row of the book industry. They robbed their artists. They wasn't paying nobody. And who was getting rich? Who was Shorty? You know, Shorty was getting all the money and screwing everybody else over. And a lot of artists or authors don't even know about Triple Crown. And if they don't, they need to go do their research because they're probably getting Triple Crown by their publisher right now because they don't know. They see this publishing contract. They see this big glamorous name that is a best-selling national author, whatever, and they flock to it. And they so naive to the game to where they sign a publishing contract and right away, boom, they start pushing out books for their publisher. Because when do you have time to market your book if you constantly write?
Exactly.
Because the publisher is not going to get out there and market it for you. You got to market your own damn book. So where did the marketing come from? You can't because you're too busy writing.
Exactly. That's very true.
So he can get paid or she can get paid. That's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Everything you said is true. And then you have the publishers who have their quote-unquote favorite authors. Their favorite authors that so-called give them bestsellers and, you know, get a #1 release as soon as it comes out. Those are the ones that they're promoting the heck out of. Those are the ones that they keep, you know, sharing the book over and over and over again and are constantly in their inbox. But what about the author that can be on that same level? You know, it might take her or him maybe a book or two, but what's the rush? I know me as an author, I'm not in a rush to hit a #1 release or become a bestseller so quick because I love writing. I love what I do. I have a lot of stories to tell. So I figure that I have a lot of time, and plus I'm young. I have a lot of time to hit a #1 release or become a bestseller. I'm not in a rush to get there so quick. And a lot of authors don't really understand that. They think that if they hurry up and write this book in a month or a couple of weeks or maybe 3 months, that, yeah, this is going to be a hit. What about all the time and effort and all the love that you need to put in your book? That's how I feel about it. I will take 6 months to a year to finish a book. And if my readers are not with that, and they just so want the part 2, and oh, she takes too long to write a book. I know she has a life. I hate when people say that. I know she has a life, but we do too, and we're just waiting on the book. Okay, like I said, it takes me some time to write my book, and I'm not gonna change that to please anybody. I'm just not.
You appreciate quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
The quality of your book is what sells, not the quantity. It's the quality. No, if you out here pushing out a book every 30 days, and some people can do that. Some people can put out a book every 30 days, and they'd be good books. And if you can do that, kudos to you.
Yep.
But it's just, where's the quality coming from if you constantly writing? Where's your ideas coming from? You're not living life. To be a writer, you got to live life. You got to see shit. To be a good writer, if you're just in your house 24/7 writing, where's your ideas coming from? Eventually, you're going to start stealing people's shit. Eventually, you're going to start seeing shit writing shit you see on TV. So, what is that?
Exactly.
Why put out a book every 30 days?
Exactly.
You're doing it to please your publisher.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I'm young, and my mom, she was like, why did you have time? Or when did you come up with this storyline? And this, that, and the other. I was like, Mom, I do my research. I do my research on, I'm a college student. I do my research on some topics that I have no clue about. I'm not just about to go to somebody else's book and be like, okay, since she wrote an idea what I'm trying to get up on, I'm going to just read her book. No. I'm going to do all my research. I'm going to look up all the past kingpins and the first woman drug lord or something. I'm going to look up that and read up on that knowledge to be like, okay, I got me an idea. I'm going to go on YouTube and I'm going to find me some documentaries or anything like that. I'm going to look at some movies that was based on true life. I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do to be able to be like, okay, I got me an idea for this thug story that I don't know nothing about, never lived that life, but I'm going to do my research on it, and then I'm going to know about it. They'd be like, I'm going to tell you a whole backstory. They'd be like, wow, she really took her time to really put all her writing skills, smarts, and everything into this story to be like, okay, this is different. Now this is a classic urban story. That's me right there. That is me.
And that's what I do when I write. Like when I wrote Loyalty, like I said, Hugo was a Puerto Rican drug lord. So he needs to speak Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know fucking Spanish. So I had to fucking Google and research what certain words was in Spanish to implement that in the story to give it some realism to it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that if you just sitting there writing. Like I said, eventually you're going to start stealing people's shit. And then when you start doing that, you're not even a writer no more. You're a thief.
Exactly. Like like you said, I know a little bit of Spanish, but nothing like that. In high school, I took French. I didn't take Spanish class. So I know a little bit of French. So when I did a French character in my book, I was like, okay, let me just brief up on a little bit because I haven't spoke French in so long. So, I'm going to just go to Google Translate or just search up the word. Or I got a whole French book in my room. I'll use that. I know nothing about Spanish. I'm finna look it up. Get to the bottom. Figure out how the sentence can, fit perfectly. If I have to translate it a little bit to, correspond because some people not going to know what they're saying in the book. And I don't want them to try and look it up. So you know what I mean? That's what I'm going to do. I'm just not going to throw anything I don't know about in my story and then be all confused to when an author or a reader asks me, why'd you put that in your book? I'm like, oh, I don't know. You don't know. What do you mean? That's exactly. I'm going to tell, like I said, I'm going to tell you in detail. I am a detailed writer too. For the odds of me, I just can't just write let's say a 6-sentence paragraph. That 6-sentence paragraph is going to be so detailed. You're going to be like, nah, you didn't have to do this much. That's what my writing teacher, she said, you're very detailed, right? I get a plus on every writing assignment because I'm so detailed in what I'm doing. I never got told, maybe you should tone it down. No, because adding detail is what's adding.
You just cut off.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't know. Sorry if there's any technical difficulties, people. It's a little stormy over here in my area, so excuse that. But like I was saying, my writing teacher in high school told me that detailing to a story is everything.
But that's good though, because you give the reader a vivid imagination. They can picture the story.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the purpose of reading. You want to be able to picture what the author is saying to you, because you're talking to the reader when you write your story. So that's good, being detailed. I mean, I wouldn't change that. Not one bit. That's you. That's what you do. That makes you special.
Exactly. Like for instance, when I first, started writing novels, I was never the one to be into short stories. I'm really not into short. I like writing long books. So when I wrote my first novel, I was into the transitioning between first and third person. Now, don't get me wrong, that can be very confusing if you don't know how to do it. When I did this particular story for my class and, submitted it to my teacher, she was surprised because she was like, well, how did you know how to transition it so good without, me or the reader getting confused? I said that it was just the narrative mind and the creativity in my brain that was like, okay, I want to do both point of views, but I have to make sure when I do this, it's not going to be confusing and I'm like, this story is just all over the place.
Right.
So when
No, go ahead.
When I did it, as soon as I did it and read it to the whole class, the class was like, wow. Then the next moment I know the story is being entered into a contest and I win second place because of the imagination of everything that I put in that one story. And it was actually a short story too. And it took me, like I said, I put a lot of effort into my stories. And that story took me about 6 months just to write a short story. Just to write a 10K little short story.
Well, it normally takes me about a year because I don't consider myself an author. I just know how to write. So it takes me about a year to complete a story because I don't sit down and write every day. I go weeks, maybe a month without even writing. Mm-hmm. So, but when I do get that writing bug, it's like binge writing. I can just go for hours and days and weeks of just nonstop writing on my phone, on my laptop. When I'm in the office, write, and then, I get tired. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, that's me too. That's me. I'd be like, and I'm the type that I like to write like 2 stories at once. I like to write 2 stories at once because I like getting that adrenaline when I write. Just like you said, that binge writing. And then the crash comes. And I'm like, okay, time to close my notebook or close the iPad or the laptop or close off the phone. Be like, okay, I need a break. Let me go do some artwork. Yeah, that's me.
That's like going back to authors that's required when they sign to a publishing house to put out a book every 30 days. Like, at what point do you crash? At what point do you just get tired of writing? Because that means to put a book out every 30 days, you have to be writing basically like nonstop, damn near. You got to have stories on top of stories to even keep up with what your publisher is requesting from you or he requires you, or they require you to do this. Mm-hmm. So I don't see how a person cannot eventually just burn out and crash. But, to each his own, I guess.
Yes, and another thing is I had a particular somebody, they said, Shy, how can you, she was like, why haven't you put out a book since your last book came out in July? I said, because one, that story, I'm going to tell you the truth, that story was completed like 2 years ago. And that story took me a year and a few months to complete, you know. And I worked on the next story that took me some months. So all my stories that I have that I'm ready to, you know, put out. Now I can put out a story every month if I wanted to because they're already done. All I need to do is be edited. I need a cover. Need to have it read over by a few test readers maybe. And stamp of approval. There we go. Sealed and delivered. That's how I go about when I want to, you know, have my series come out in 3 months. Because my story has already been done for 2, 3, maybe a year ago. I've already completed these stories. I have my 10 stories sitting in my flash drive, complete, 40K, 70K stories ready to be published. And I already told my publisher this. She was like, yeah. She was like, I'm not worried about you at all. Just, you know, just the books that you're working on. She was like, take your time with those. Because I let her know before I even signed with her that I am a slow writer. I like to take my time with my stories. I hope you're okay with that. She was like, yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Take your time. But I said, I do have stories that have been way past done. Like, they're just need to be edited. I need to go back and add something. That's it. That's completely it. I can have a full series come out in 3 months and be like, here you go, readers. Leave me alone for the next 6 months. I'm finna go write this other book that I really been wanting to get on with because them stories is done for like the past 3 years that I've been wanting to put out. But I really want to work on this fresh story for the past 6 months. So let me go do that. Let me give you these stories that I love so much too. You know? And I wish some authors can see what I'm talking about, but they're not. It's like they're not connected with that. They just want to write a story within 2 weeks. I know an author who can do that. I'm like, I can't do that. I don't even. The crazy thing is, I don't even write a guideline to my stories. I don't even write a whole plot. I write from my mind.
Yeah, exactly. Your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I write. And like when I'm not writing, you know, now I'm still thinking about my story. It's still playing on in my head.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still putting together different scenes. I'm still putting together dialogue. I'm just not putting pen to paper, you know, so, but I'm still creating. And then once that writing bug hits me, I don't already have about 3 scenes and some dialogue that boom. Once I start writing, it just starts to flow perfectly. You know, I can just start going off my imagination in real time. I mean, that's the best way. You know, that's the best way to write. You know?
Yeah, because I've tried so many times to write a whole outline. I've tried that for the life of me. I don't even follow the rest of my outline. I can outline 3 chapters, get to those 3 chapters, and be like, forget this. I'm finna go from the creative juices is flowing. I can't write on that.
I don't know what the outline is.
My type of outline is notes. I have I don't know how many notebooks with just my scribbled down notes, and it's Ashley will do this, Campbell will do this. There we go. That's chapter 1. If, like I say this all the time, if any author picked up my notebook, be like, what the heck? I don't know what's going on here. You may not see what's going on, but I see a whole 40K, 50K, 60K novel right there because I briefed down all my ideas right there in that notebook and can go right back to it, find what I need for chapter 5, boom. And I write out of order too. So I can write my ending first and then go right to chapter 1 or write the climax, to write the middle of the story and be done with that. And yeah, I don't write in order at all.
So when you come up with a story, I mean, what do you think of? Do you think of, okay, so this is how I want the story to start and this is how I want it to end? Or do you kind of just put together a bunch of different stuff and say, okay, from point A to point B, this has to happen, point C to D, and so forth and so forth.
I'm gonna be completely honest. Every book that I've written, I always get the idea of my ending first. It never fails me. I cannot have, okay, this is how the story is going to start off. No. I always start off as, this is how this story is going to end. Somebody gonna die. Somebody gonna get either married or something like that. My stories are always drama filled. I'm known as the drama queen in my stories because in all of the stories I've written, I've never gave my characters a total happy ending. They're always going through the fire because I believe that is how life is. Nobody really has it's no such thing as somebody is perfect.
Right.
So why would my character be so perfect, a perfect circle? No. If you're trying to draw a circle, you're going to mess up a little bit. That's how I see life in my characters, life in my books. It's always going to be a bump in the road in my story. Like it's like my characters talk to me. I say that all the time. My characters have a mind of their own. So that's why I stopped jotting down stuff about characters, because I can get a totally different idea and add that in with how the character is going to be, how they're going to speak, how they're going to act throughout the story, and that's how it's going to go. If I feel like, okay, this character in this story is not talking to me anymore, either they're going to get the happy ending, maybe, or they might get killed off. It's always going to be somebody who's going to get killed off in my story.
Well, that makes a good story, especially if the reader invested their emotions into that particular character, or if that character plays a significant role in the storyline.
Yep.
I mean, that always makes for a good story. You just kill the motherfucker. Get readers mad.
Yep.
I mean, we all see movies. We all watch movies or TV shows where you invest in it. My favorite show is The Walking Dead. So when they start killing off these characters that I've come to know and enjoy seeing on Sunday, it makes me upset, but it keeps me wanting to watch because I want to know what happens next. Who's going to replace this character? What happens because this character died? How does this affect the storyline? I mean, that's beautiful. That's perfect. That's how it's supposed to write, in my opinion. Now, question for you is: do you read other authors' books?
Yes, I do, because I was always a reader first before I even became a writer/author. Always been a reader, so yeah, I do.
So I don't read. I hate reading. I just can't get into reading. And when I first, started putting together loyalty, people would say, "You can't write a story because you don't even read. You don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do." Yeah, it's not true. But that's just people just talking out the side of their mouth. But I don't read at all.
Yeah, the crazy thing is that I'm doing a little experiment with this book that I'll be coming out with in 6 months. I messaged a lot of guys that I know, right? And I asked them, I said, do you like reading or do you not like reading? Half said yes, half said no. I said, okay. So I went straight to the ones who said they don't like reading. I said, okay, I know you don't like reading, but please just read this one chapter for me. And it was in a male's perspective. The book is full in a male's perspective, full geared towards males. There we go. I sent that to a couple of guys, and they was like, shy. They was like, hold on. They was like, I know I said I don't like reading, but this had me so engaged that I did not want to put it down, and I wanted to find out what was going to happen next. I said, that's right there what I want to see. That is right there what I want to see. What would you say? What do you really want to read this story, even though you don't like reading? And when they said, yes, I want to read this story, even though I don't like reading, it really caught my attention. I said, I found the niche.
So let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
I haven't seen it done before, but being a man, a lot of male authors write from a male perspective. Something that I'm getting ready to put out within the next couple months, maybe next month, maybe the month after, is written in from a woman's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a romance, erotic type of story. So I don't know the emotions of women, but I have sisters and I have cousins and I have a mother, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is your take on a man writing as from a woman's perspective, and that includes like her sexual emotions, her feelings, towards a guy? I mean, you think that's possible? You think that can be done?
Yep. Because the same thing you're trying to do is the same thing I'm doing.
So the whole story is from a male perspective, not just this particular chapter.
It's an entire book on the male's perspective. My first book doing this ever. And I said, this is going to be challenging. At first. And then when I got into it, and I talked to some of the guys, and I said, okay, so you're arguing with your girl or this, that, and the other, how do you feel? How do you react? And when they told me certain emotions, how they have to have the hard exterior, and they so-called say men can't cry and all this other stuff, and they just have to be hard. I said, okay, I can fall into that character. Let me just, close the door, tell everybody in the house, just let me be alone, and let me get into this particular story, because this is very, very different for me. Once I did that, and, did a little notes in there, researched the male's brain and, how they will react to certain things, I said, okay, I got it. And my story is a slight romance, erotica. Well, it's all erotica, slight romance, and a lot of crime in the book, too. So I said, there we go. I got 3 things that the male likes. I got 3 things that the male likes. So
how many books have you put out?
How many books have I put out? I only have 2 books out as of right now. But
would you consider yourself like a newbie or a vet or somewhere in between?
Somewhere in between, because I was writing stories way before I got published, getting paid for it. I had my books on an app called Wattpad, if you know what that is.
I heard about it.
Yes, I had my books up there. And I was getting to the point where I could have gotten paid on Wattpad, but they were so geared towards certain people. So I said, yeah, I'm done with them. It's time for me to, earn my coin. I've worked hard for it, even though I don't care about getting paid for my books, because I write my books for my readers anyway, and myself. So I said, it's time for me to take it up a notch.
So, okay. So why you choose to go the publishing route instead of focusing your talents on being a self-publisher? Self-publisher.
Okay, I've gotten that question a lot, because I know how to edit. I do graphic design, so I can make my own cover, and I know how to do all that stuff, right? But I'm in college, and college students got that budget, and I'm like, I'd rather have a publisher to, do that side for me. I'll get to that point where I will self-publish my own books, but I said I want to be, stable right now. I want to get to that point where people are going to be like, oh, that's Shy Soul presents, or whatever it may be. Oh, I'm going to instantly pick up her book. I wanted to progress myself to that part. Mm-hmm.
So you don't think there's nothing wrong or maybe this is your goal, but to use an established publishing house to get your name out there, to say, oh, well, they're under so-and-so, so it must be good, so I'm just going to pick up their book.
I believe some people believe that. Me, myself, I don't believe that. I don't take it as that reason, because when I was writing, without a publisher or anything like that, I was still in that mindset that, oh, don't nobody know my name. I'm just writing books. I'm just writing some little stories, whatever. Right? When I transitioned over to a publisher and getting published on Amazon, all those people who I said, oh, they don't know my name, they came out of the woodwork. They came from everywhere. I'm like, huh? You know me? You know me by Shy Soul? I was like, hands was palmy and sweaty. I'm like, oh wow, so they did know me. So I was just doubting myself, basically. Whole time I'm just doubting myself, like, oh, they don't know my name. Whole time they knew my name. So I don't.
We're our biggest critics. We doubt ourselves more than anybody on the outside. Like when I wrote Loyalty, I thought it was like, it's okay, it's whatever. But everybody that read it was like, man, this is a good book. This could be a movie. This could be that. And I was just like, it's okay. But that's just, I know I could have did better. But for the reader, it's kind of like, and I think we're hard on ourselves, and we shouldn't be so hard, because we put the time in and to come up with a story, but at the same time, we always know that we can do better, and it's a gift and a curse, because when you know you can do better on your next story, you do better. So you can look at it that way. But the publishing house that you're under right now, it's not your first one.
No, it is not.
So I'm sure the reason you're at this publishing house, because the previous one, or however many there was, didn't work out for you.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Why didn't it work out? What did they do? Who was they?
Okay, so basically the first publishing company I went towards, I got signed when I turned 20. So I signed on my 20th birthday. And I was so ecstatic, I was already looking through publishers, but don't get me wrong, I was not the gun-ho author was like, oh, signing the first contract. No, I had people read over these contracts, and I did my research and everything, sent my story, sent my first 3 chapters of the story, and she was like, oh, you're exactly what I'm looking for. I had gotten that 5 times. So I called every publisher that I submitted to and was like, okay, what will be different for you with my book and this, that, and the other? And will I be able to do different genres? Because, I just don't write in urban romance category. She was like, oh, yeah, and everything. So I read over the contract. I was like, okay. Sent it to my brother. He sent it to some people that he know, legal people. He was like, yeah, the contract is legit. You should go ahead and do it if that's who you want to pick. If that's who you want to do, right? So I chose her, right? A few months.
Who was her?
Miss Candace. She was my first. Sorry, words got.
Is she still around?
Yeah, she still publishes books. She just.
Hey, Miss Candace.
My book never got published. It never hit Amazon. Because she said my book was, it needed development, and it wasn't ready, and it was editing issues, and you need to add this, and you need to add that. I had a cover and everything. I was so excited. For her, it just didn't cut it. I'm like, okay. I had a test reader. The editor went over it. Like, what exactly was the problem? Oh, when you're ready, when you're really ready, you can re-sign with me. I'm not gonna re-sign with you. What do you mean? If you read over those first 3 chapters and it just didn't cut it for you that quick, I guess, what do you mean? Right? So that publisher didn't work out. On to the next. So I waited a couple months. That same story that she said didn't cut it, I need to develop it more. I read over it, sent it to some people, I said, okay, I'm gonna work on this story. Did another story, right? Went to another publisher. She signed me. We went through everything, talked about everything. Oh, you'll be able to write how you like. You'll be able to take your time. You'll be able to do this, to do that. I'm like, okay, cool. That same book that did not publish with Miss Candace, I got it published with Shailene. Her new name is S. Vaughn. Was with her for a good amount of months. Had like 4 titles published under her. Was doing great, right? Books were doing great. All the books were doing great. Everybody knew Shy Soul at that point. Then it got to a story, was supposed to come out on my birthday, and something just wasn't cutting it for her, and the editing, your editing skills aren't there, so you're gonna have to develop that. And I just got, contract terminated, just offed. I'm like, all my books were doing great. All my books were 5-star, had a little 4-star, maybe 1-star because somebody said, oh, I don't like new authors or whatever, and I decided to give her a try. It was some of those.
Yeah.
And
there'll be authors hating ass authors out there.
Yeah, so books were doing great. I had 4 titles under her, and the book, my first crime novel that I was gonna publish, which was the story that the girl had plagiarized from me, right? That book was going to hit number 1. That was going to be my first ever number 1 release. A week after it got published, my contract got terminated. I was let go.
So that's weird. That's weird. Like, why would a publisher just let you go when you're doing so well? Unless, they started having money issues. I just don't see why any publisher would want to let one of their star authors just walk like that.
Like, she could have gotten an editor that does, the developing side too. Yeah. She could have got one of those on my book and been like, okay, this is what she needs to do, because she's young. I'm the youngest one on their team. The company I'm on, I'm the youngest one on the team. So, like, get a editor developer, and be like, okay, let me consultate with her and be like, okay, this is what she needs to do. Everything is there. It's just maybe she needs to add this, or maybe she needs to do this, or, with this particular character, if she needs to cut this character and put her or him in the next story, then do that. Maybe too many characters is too much for the story, or such and such, or anything like that. The story, the crime novel, I knew in my heart that was going to be right there, I knew that was going to be my best-selling first series, because I'm not the type of author that really likes series. For me to do a series, it's going to be a different book series, So I'm like, okay, I got this. Put the story out. Everybody was in love with it. Everybody was just ready to read it. And then days after the release, I get that email, and I was heartbroken. I was like, at this point, that was the point where I was like, at this point, do I really want to write? Do I really want to try and find another publishing company? I took a long time to really get back into writing. Really took my time finding a publisher, because I'm still young. I'm still in college. I'm not going to stress myself over my books and schoolwork. I still want a publisher to be able to, do that side for me. Even though I can do it myself, I don't have that time. I have the time to write. I don't have the time to deal with Amazon and all that side of it. I'm still one person. And mind you that I have my own business. I have a graphic design business. So graphic design business plus trying to publish my own book, make my own covers, and all that.
What do you think on the royalty side of of what the publisher pays the authors?
the thing was, I was making good royalties with my books, with the other company and Major Key I'm with now. I love Kiana. Kiana is the best publisher. I should have been with her from the get-go. You know, I would have never. I guess God wanted me to, you know, see any mistakes that I had first, but I should have been with Major Key in the first place. That was one of the publishing companies that wanted to sign me, but I guess it was something that I missed or didn't see yet, or was like, maybe I'll keep you on my roster, when I shouldn't have done that. I should have just been with her in the first place. You know, she's a lovely publisher. If you need to talk to her late night about your book, if you're having writer's block, she will immediately pick up the phone and be like, okay, I'm ready for you, call me, let's get into this. She will talk you through your whole book if you need to. If she feels that the story needs consultation, editing consultations, she will let you know that, okay, Shy, you need to really go back through this book. And, you know, if you see what I see, then you'll understand. Like, okay, that's what an author needs. They need that. If the publisher see that the book isn't going to sell the way it needs to be, and they know this, they're just not trying to put the book out just to get money, then they love their author. They love you when they don't want you to just keep getting 1-star, 2-star reviews when they know your book can be a 5-star. Like, we all know that nobody's going to like everybody's work, and you're going to get a 1-star, 4-star, 3-star. Like, we all know that. If your book is superb and it's just a 5-star book all the way around, that's great. But it's still somebody who did not review that book who didn't like it. They just decided to not give you a review. You know, they decided not to voice their opinion or review it at all.
Who like it and still don't put the review out. You know, it's just,
they just bought the book. They just bought it to support you. But that's great too. You're still giving me sales. You know, you're still flipping through those pages. Or you may have not bought the ebook. You may be the one that likes paperbacks and you're waiting for my paperback to come out. You know, I'm that type too. I love the new book smell. You know, I couldn't wait till my book got the paperback so I can immediately buy it and take a picture and be like, I got my book. Oh my God, it feels so good to hold my first, my second, my fifth, sixth. I'm gonna be that person.
So what publisher? What? I mean, there's quite a few publishers out there. Some are good, some are bad,
and some are okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to do this or not, but we're going to try to make it a little more confrontational. So, what publishing house you think this from? Maybe you had direct contact, or maybe you know someone out had direct contact with them. What publishing house do you think is it's a money train and they just out for the money and not there to help the author develop? We're talking about name dropping too. If you want to, you don't have to. No pressure.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I have a lot of publishers and a lot of authors on my page because you know,
I get it.
Yeah, I'm being totally honest. I have not seen the ones I have on my page. I have not seen a bad publishing company on my page. You know, all of them that I pretty much, you know, have talked to and everything, we support each other. The ones that are bad, they've been going off my page a long time ago. And I don't remember who the heck they are. If I probably seen them pop up in my feed, you know, and it's something about them, then that's them. But I don't have that negativity on my page. Nope. That's something that I do not allow is negativity because I don't keep your dark cloud over there.
Because there's quite a few. I don't even want to say publishers because anybody can just stamp their name and put presents at the end of a title, and that makes you look like a damn publisher.
Yeah, but if you don't have LLC, I'm gonna say this: if you don't have LLC, you know, that legit document, that legit everything, with your companies, you're not a company.
Yeah, you're not. You're not. But that's what I'm saying. Like people just put their name and they just say, yeah, I could publish you. And basically all they're doing is just using all the self-publishing services that's out there to publish somebody. Because the new author is so naive to the game. They're so gullible. You know, I look at like every author, not every author, but a good majority of the new authors, they want to come in and they want to click up so quickly. Everybody wants to be part of the publishing house, you know, if it's Major Keys, if it's what's another one out there? I think like Urban Books or something like that. Everybody just want to click up, and I guess that's cool if you want to click up. But at the same time, you know, what is your publisher going to do for you? What is your publisher doing for you? I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. Are they actually doing anything for you besides putting your book out? You said Major Keys, you know. I never heard anything bad about them, but I mean, what publishers out there are would you say are good publishers that's actually doing stuff for their authors?
Royalty, for one, Royalty Publishing, because
Yeah, I heard of them.
when I joined Major Key was a sub-publishing company under Royalty. And I was like, well, alright, that's a publisher getting skills from another publisher, you know. Well then, alright. You know what I'm saying? That's what, and Royalty has done that with a lot of publishing companies that, you know, need that nurturing or need that help or anything like that to really get that new publishing company out there. I like that. That works. Then you have Leo Sullivan. You know, he's a very good publisher. You have Jessica Watkins. She's a great publisher. You have, there's a few that I already have on my page. I can't really list them all right now. But those three are very, very great publishing companies. And you don't hear anything too much bad about them at all. The authors that they have put out great books. And they sell.
Because, you know, Leo Sullivan was part of the Triple Crown. You know, I'm familiar with Leo Sullivan. You know, that's one of the publishing companies that I respect, you know, because I seen the work he put in back when he was, you know, an author trying to break into the game with Triple Crown. Not too many people talk about cartel publications, you know, and I guess you know who they are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe me, I know I may be young, but my mom, she loves books. She was in book clubs and all that. She has all those books.
Yeah.
So all of those, believe me, I was the one to sneak into my mom's books when I'm 16 and reading them and stuff. So yeah, I know about all of those. My research is very extensive. Believe me, when I said I looked into all of this and who was I going to go with and, you know, scamming and all that, I looked into all of it. Completely all
But you don't know you're going to get scammed until you get scammed. Because a lot of publishers or publishing houses, it's like a pyramid scheme, you know. The author don't make money. It's just the person who owns the company. And like you said, they're chosen few authors who they really enjoy working with. You know, so that's one of the reasons why. Because when I started, I submitted my my manuscript to a couple of different publishing houses, and I did, you know, get offers, but it was more like, this shit seems a little bit shady, you know, like, you're only going to give me like 15 cents on a dollar, like, really, like, shit, I can just do this shit myself and get all the money, you know.
Right.
But I'm happy that I chose the route I went to, being independent, and being able to freely I want to put out. And I have to worry about meeting a certain type of quota, not worrying about having to pay someone back for whatever events they give me, everything that I do. And even the authors that I help that's not, signed under contract with the publisher company that I have, because I still help them, because at the end of the day, it's this industry is author driven.
Mm-hmm.
Without the authors, there's no publishing companies. So I rather help every new author that comes my way asking for help. This is what I learned along. These are the outlets that I think are beneficial to you. So I think in a few years we're going to start seeing less and less publishing houses. It's going to be to come to a point where only the strong survive, because there's too many self-publishing tools out there. You don't need a publisher anymore.
Right. Yeah, but it's still, you're right, but it is still people like me who I want that little security for right now. You get what I'm saying? It's still little people like me. Like, I'm still waiting on Terry Woods to come out with her publishing company, because I was asking my mom. I said, Ma, I want to go to like Wahida Clark or Jessica Watkins or Leo Sullivan. I'm telling you right now, I submitted my book to all of them. Submitted that book to all of them, because I felt as if I worked on this book this hard, I should be able to get with a publisher this big, and my book for those type of publishing companies, was not as really, really street lit, really, really hardcore. My book was still a little bit, but it was still a little soft. Oh, it was still a little soft. So I said, I understood why, I didn't get signed with them. I see why. I was like, that's fine. That's cool. That's fine and dandy. The publisher that I have now, when she read the book, she was like, this book is great. She was like, the male character that you put in this book is crazy as heck. I can see that as a Netflix movie or a Netflix series. I can't wait until I finish editing that, so that can come out pretty soon. I'm not in a rush at all, but I want to finish this series that I have out now. I want to finish that, then come out with that. That's a series. That's going to be a real series. The book series that I'm working on now is a different book series. Volume 1, Volume 2, that type of thing.
So, do you have an end goal in this author business? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Oh, you're hitting me with a question that I love asking the authors that come on my show. All
right, well, you can answer it first, or I can answer it first, or however. It don't matter.
Now, I have always been the person that thinks ahead, and I've always been like this. I see myself in 5 years, first of all, with a degree, with 2 degrees. There's a degree in, 3 degrees. 3 degrees in journalism, business and marketing, and graphic design degree. Yeah. And my next venture would be having my own establishment for official establishment for Shy Illustrations, all my graphics and everything like that. And then the 5th would be producing my own movie for one of my books, or a own TV series, because I love film too. So that is where I see myself in 5 years. And I already know I can, with all the things I've done already, my podcast, my books, my own business, I already know I can get to that point.
Yeah, you just got to be determined and just not give up when shit get hard. Just keep pushing forward, and all your dreams will come true.
Because honestly, I would want to film it myself. have my team and whatever, but I would want to film my own movie that is my book. I would want to be the director. I'll have somebody who, maybe, write the script for me, even though I know how to write a script myself. I am still that type that wants to have a black-owned business. So everyone, all the college students who want to be a script writer, I will pick one of those to be on my team. You get what I'm saying? I will be that type of business owner. That's exactly how I am. So that's where I see myself in 5 years.
Well, I just plan on, taking A&B House of Royalty. Even though it's licensed as a publications company, I don't want to just focus on just putting out books. I want to do more. And that's when I talk to authors, and I always tell them, I understand you enjoy writing, but there has to be more than to writing. You don't want to just be a writer for the rest of your life. You want to expand your creativity. Mm-hmm. So, I got the writing part down pretty much. So now I got the Black Girl Magic clothing. I got my Blackish Royalty clothing. And then if you go to the website, ANDHouseofRoyalty.com, then I have the blog, which allows, other authors, writers, whoever that has a way with creative writing to share their short stories, to share their creative writing, whether it be poems or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. Because I'm here for the author. I'm not here for the money. I'm not here for the glitz and glamour of being the publisher. Our motto is, we don't do it for the fame, we do it for the culture. Everything we do is for the culture that we write for, So in 5 years, I plan on having this big, diverse portfolio of different projects that A&B has pushed out, and music, podcasts, clothing, books, just touching on everything that has to do with the black culture or the urban culture, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's a big one out there, and there's a lot of people who has a lot of freaking potential, but they just don't know how to use it, or they're afraid to use it. Like I said when I first started writing, that I never showed nobody my work because I thought it was stupid, because at the time everybody was trying to be the next Jay-Z. Somebody was trying to be, the next big hip-hop artist. So, I never showed no one my work. Me and my friends try to be rappers, and, that shit only lasted for about a week or two, and that was a major failure. So in 5 years, I'm looking to continue and expand to help new authors, reach a certain plateau and give them all the knowledge that I've learned along the way, and just have a big family of authors, not necessarily, sign, with the publication company, but just in a family of networks, because at the end of the day, when everything's said and done, you need your fellow authors. Mm-hmm. You need them to help you when it comes to marketing your book. You need them, if they know an outlet for advertising. You want these, because it's so many different routes you can take, and everybody's pretty much taking their own route. And I may take this route, and this route may lack this certain aspect of the game, but this author that I conversate with, her route may have that thing that I need on my route. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they can exchange information and say, hey, you know what, you should do this. I did this, and this was great, or vice versa. So, I mean, that's I plan on being like I plan on being the Diddy of the publication world in 5 years. I'm just everywhere. You know,
Right.
Can't stop, won't stop. So, but this has been really, 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 really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to bait you into being controversial. I was trying, but you wasn't biting. You wasn't biting. I was trying to get you to do some name dropping, and you know. But it was real professional. I understand. You know, me personally, I'm more like, shit, I don't give a fuck. You know, I say this person name, that person name. I don't care. I don't feel like you can get blackballed in this industry. There's 1.5 billion people in this world. People are going to buy your stuff, regardless. You know, like the publisher says, you know, oh, he's an arrogant asshole. You know, he might tell his authors, hey, don't deal with that dude. You know, but what about the readers? You can't stop the readers from buying, you know, author work.
Exactly.
So, but you didn't bite,
Mm-hmm.
and it's perfectly fine. It's okay. You know, I still had fun. It was great.
It was great.
Fun.
Now, if you want to give any shout outs, if you have any websites, drop your social media. You could tell everyone that right now.
Well, you know, like you're a dope illustrator, hands down. I see your work. I like it. I'm definitely gonna, you know, be in contact with you about that soon. You know, but one of the dopest illustrators in the game, and I know half of the industry know this guy, Mario Patterson. He's one of the dopest illustrators in the game. So I'm gonna shout out him because he does all my artwork for the books. So shout out him. Shout out to everybody who fucks with me. You got a real MVP. I fuck with y'all too. Go to the website, ambhouseofroyalty.com. There's the Black Girl Magic. There's the My Blackest Royalty. Then we got something else dropping soon. I keep everything that I'm doing close to my chest because I don't want people stealing my shit. Then there's the, you know, check out the Writers Corner. That's where other authors and writers get to share their work with a different audience. So that's pretty dope. And then there's the Culture Report, you know, which is a publication similar to I guess the Root or these other, like similar to TMZ, I guess. You know, we put out different news articles. Our sources are, you know, from like TMZ, the Source magazines, Essence magazines, you know, BET, whatever. And we grab these different stories, we put them together, and then we present it to the public. So the Culture Report, that's there. The Writers Corner is there. And you can go there, you can check out Loyalty, get it on a paperback, or you can go to Amazon. Loyalty Episode 1, written by Ali Shakur. He's going to be one of the top authors in the game. So, and then Loyalty Episode 2, the Holy Trinity, is going to be out in June. We getting ready to send it to edits now, so got a lot going on in 2019. Oh, and in June, I will be at the Black Writers Weekend in Atlanta. Are you going there? You know anything about that? You gonna be there?
I'm definitely gonna be there.
Oh, I'm gonna be there. Definitely gonna hit the award show too. So I'm gonna be everywhere. So if you're down there, I'm probably gonna be down there. I'm probably gonna be. You know it's me because I'm gonna be probably flashy or whatever. So you probably know it's me. So you know, I'm gonna be out there. I'm interacting with everybody, trying to, you know, network, and so yeah, I'll be there in June. So that's all I got. www.ambhouseroyalty. You can come to Facebook, Marcus Bouldin, Marcus. Bouldin. I am author Ali Shakur, and that's what you get. What you see is what you get.
And that was dope. This was a great interview. For sure, when that next book comes out, I will be messaging you about coming on the show to have another book discussion. But other than that, this was great. The vibes were all there.
It was fun. We're definitely going to do this again.
Very, very. I love you guys. Have a great night. You have a great night too. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Authors Tell All, a podcast by Shy Soul. She's bringing you author interviews,